Episode number 151.
In the past, maybe you think nurses and teachers, they don't pay as well, but these jobs will last forever. And they're jobs where your work will result in some child realizing his or her dream or taking care of some ill or older people whose smile will make your day. So now's the time to go into those careers.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff, where we talk about life, dreams, social media, and business.
Well, hello and welcome to the Be Real Show with Travis Too Tall and Huff. Folks, I'm starting today with a ton of gratitude. We have my wife and my baby shower are for our first newborn, and I am super pumped because beyond that, we're bringing you today Kai-Fu Lee. Kai-Fu, are you ready to be real?
Yes, and congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, sir. I'm super excited. I was watching your interview with my man Tom Bilyeu at Impact and really was, blown away by your story, talking about, your personal story. Because, folks, we're going to talk about Kai-Fu, but he is an AI expert. He is the CEO of Sinovation Ventures, also the former president of Google China. And most importantly, what I'm so curious about is he is the author of the book AI Superpowers, which is AI and reshaping the world, and specifically China, Silicon Valley, and the New World Order. And I'm so curious, Kai-Fu, we've given our listeners some insight, but I love this quote from you. AI can liberate us.
Yes.
Is that something that, because a lot of people are scared of AI.
Yeah, there's no reason to be scared because AI is just a tool.
Right.
We humans give it a goal. The goal might be win more Go games or make more money from the ads, or lower the default rate on the loans, or lower the credit card fraud rate. Then it's just an engine that goes to work for us towards that goal. It's just another spreadsheet. So a lot of the paranoia is really uncalled for. We have good confidence we can control AI, and AI follows our orders, is our tool, and will save us a lot of time, make us a lot of money, give us a lot of efficiency, and also make a lot of money and do a lot of routine tasks so that in 20, 30 years, we don't have to do routine tasks anymore because AI will do most, if not all of them.
So we're now going to be able to focus on more stuff that we enjoy doing that brings us love, because a lot of people maybe don't love their job, right? I mean, think about all the people out there. There's probably a lot of people that don't love their job.
Right. I think the routine jobs, I think the so-called, American dream, or make a difference or make an impact, work hard, work ethic. Also in China, people work like crazy.
Right.
Mostly just to make a living and make the family better, which is noble and important.
Right.
But somehow it's shaped a lot of people's beliefs that work is the number one thing in their lives. And yet work is a lot of routine stuff. Yeah. So I think people have to have a chance now with AI doing the routine stuff to do the things that they love.
Yeah, and through their work too, do you think jobs that are specifically focused on like being creative, what areas of focus do you think, people will gravitate to?
Well, I think the truly creative jobs, like a scientist or an amazing artist,
right,
or someone who can tell a story like you, those jobs are very safe. The jobs that require human-to-human interaction, that of a tour guide, a concierge, a nurse, a nanny, a teacher, those are going to continue to be important. And there will even be more of those jobs. But jobs that are routine in nature, assembly line, driver, dishwasher, and telemarketer, customer cashier, teller, etc., back office employees, people who shuffle paper and account for numbers, and make predictions and write reports that are relatively routine and regular, those jobs will be fully displaced.
Mm. So it's like the ultimate workbook. I love that. You said it's another workbook or another sheet, like an Excel sheet, basically. You know, Excel is basically what would be an AI superpower if you talk to someone 10, 20 years ago, right?
Yes, that's right. Although AI is probably 1,000,000 times more powerful than Excel.
Wow.
It is a lot like Excel in the sense that in Excel, you populate it with numbers, you click a button, then out comes your earnings per share, or
right.
out comes your profitability or your effectiveness or whatever metric. It's almost like magic. But AI is much more magical in the sense that Excel still has people programming the logic in each cell,
right.
and has to be humanly programmed. AI is like an Excel that you just feed it a lot of data and tell you what you want as the outcome. So it's so much more powerful. If you feed it, for example, all the people who borrow money and which ones paid back, which ones defaulted, it will then learn what kind of people default and what kind of people pay back. Wow. And therefore, that would become the autonomous loan officer.
Wow. So they're the ones that qualify and everything. They're qualifying the deals based on what they're seeing. That's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Based on the actual outcome.
Right.
So it's not based on a human teaching it. This type of people default, these people don't. But because humans are not perfect, they can't take every information into account. You know, a autonomous loan officer can pretty much track everything in your life that you are willing to share, or that is legally available on the internet, and fuse that all together into an engine that can make a decision that has a default rate of maybe 1/10 of a human loan officer. Wow. So it's 10 times more accurate, saves the bank a ton of money, and also it essentially works for free because it's just on a computer server running using nothing but electricity, and it works 24/7 and doesn't complain, doesn't go off on strike, and it's kind of the perfect tool for getting the job done.
That is amazing. We're so blessed, folks. We're so blessed, especially as business owners. Like you said, I mean, the thing I'm curious about is who are going to be these companies making the AI? They seem like they're going to be the big companies of the future.
Absolutely. It will be pure AI companies that will infuse AI into business processes.
Right.
Will be AI platform companies. Google's already one. Microsoft is one. Facebook is one. China's Alibaba and Tencent. These are AI platform, usually cloud platform companies.
Gotcha.
So if you got an IT department, you can throw your data on the cloud and have it work for you. There will also be software companies with AI addition, like Salesforce has a capability called Einstein. So if you already use Salesforce for your own customer relationship management, now you can have AI infused working with the database that you already have. Wow. And then there will be disruptive technologies. For example, the loan application might just be an app. It might not be a bank.
Right.
And the autonomous store and the autonomous factory and the autonomous fast food will all emerge, right? As you know, San Francisco already has a burger shop without humans.
Really?
Yeah, and in China, we have a noodle shop without humans.
A noodle shop.
So I think in the future, consumption will bifurcate into very high-end luxury type of human-to-human experience, enjoyment, beauty, Michelin restaurants, very expensive.
Right.
And then just the super cheap, effective, and consistent and tasty food that will be offered at a fractional of today's McDonald's.
Yeah, so it'll be even more affordable. It'll be even more affordable, right? And faster.
Yes, we can have cheaper fast food, save up the money for that
nice meal.
Michelin meal, right?
Yeah, I like that. I've heard that too, because of AI, then it should bring down costs on many different things in our lives.
Yes, and AI manufacturing, AI will wash dishes, pick fruits, sort vegetables, fertilize. So agriculture will become autonomous or semi-autonomous.
Yes.
And everything will become cheaper.
Yeah. So that's the positive side, folks. If you're thinking about getting scared, I mean, the positive side is number one, your bills will be cheaper most likely in the next 20 years.
Yes, and you'll probably have more free time on your hands because a lot of routine jobs are taken care of, and unless they invent more jobs and tasks for you, it's possible people will have a choice of a 3 or 4 day work week.
Wow.
Now there's some negatives because there are routine jobs that will be taken by AI.
Yes.
So folks in that situation will have to start reskilling themselves.
Yeah. So now's the time, right?
Yeah, now's the time. I mean, don't believe that the unemployment rate at a historical low
right.
is going to be something that's sustainable because AI hasn't yet tipped, right? Like when I told you about the autonomous burger place, you haven't yet heard. When you read about Amazon Go as a shop, there are only 2 of them.
Right.
But once Amazon proves it, the burger shop proves it, they will open 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Then all of a sudden, your mom and pop grocery shops will close down, and your fast food will close down, and then jobs associated with them will be gone, and unemployment will tip all of a sudden in a negative way.
Right. So it's going to be some short-term pain for a long-term gain. Basically, there's going to be people that, if you've been flipping burgers, there's probably someone going to be able to do that for you, or obviously AI is going to do that for you. But there might be, now's the time to find out and pursue part of what, your story is too, is not only, spreading love and loving one another and radiating that, but also pursuing your dreams.
Yes.
Now's the time, right?
Yes. If you always wanted to be an artist, a photographer, now is the chance, because those are jobs that would still be around. If you wanted to be something skilled and sustainable, like a nurse or a teacher, now is a good time. In the past, maybe you think nurses and teachers, they don't pay as well, but these jobs will last forever, and they're jobs where your work will result in some child realizing his or her dream, or taking care of some ill or older people whose smile will make your day. So now's the time to go into those careers.
Yeah. Especially the healthcare. It seems like that's going to be huge.
It's huge. There's going to be, in the US, non-physician type of healthcare jobs will grow by 2 million in the next 6 years.
Wow.
And that includes nurses, elderly caretakers, and in-home caretakers. Because of the modern health improvements, we're going to live to be longer. There will be many more people over 80, and people over 80 requires 5 times as much care as those between 60 and 80. So that kind of assistive care will dramatically increase. And those jobs are not doable by robots, because taking care of the elderly, the environment's different, the communication's different. Also, the elderly don't want to be taken care of by a robot.
Right.
So, so I think those jobs will be very plentiful. Of course, the challenge is they don't currently pay enough. Right. So there will need to be different types of, there will need to be a shift in the society to give more attention and pay to jobs of caretakers and teachers, and increase the social status, as well as, because the jobs themselves are very fulfilling. At the end of the day, you feel you've really helped someone. The problem is when you don't pay enough, people don't want those jobs. So we're going to have to improve the pay, as well as create career paths. And those are the things that are drawing people to some of the routine jobs. A heavy equipment operator, a trucker, makes twice as much as teachers, 3 times as much as caretakers, but their jobs are going to go away in the next 15 years.
Right.
But we have to equalize these and pay people properly for the services that are most needed by humanity.
Society's going to change. When we're not needing these other jobs, they're going to be like, well, we need our teachers. We need caretakers.
Yes.
And just the fact that we're living longer too, right?
Yeah, and all those jobs will increase, and all education needs to change. So we need a whole new breed of teachers who are more like mentors and communicators, who help the kids discover their own voice and dream. And the actual process, the actual work, most of the actual work of a teacher, giving lectures, grading homework, giving assignments, doing drills and giving tests and grading tests. Robots can do those. The teacher will be more of a communicator to understand and get the trust of the child and help discover his or her inner voice and passion.
Which is, I think, what we need right now, obviously. You know, the problem is kids go out, graduate college, and they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And they're $100,000 in debt, 180, 20, you know.
These are big problems in the society. And as much as, you know, we are talking about a great world when this is all said and done, and we seem to know sort of directionally where things need to go, the process of changing an education system is incredibly difficult and generations. So I do worry how fast education can evolve.
Yeah, like in America, it's all localized.
Yeah.
So there's not like one, you can't just change everything. It's like every local, you know, school system can do their own thing.
That's right.
And there's no one has a say. No one has like an overseeing say of like, this is how it should be done.
Yeah. This is where China plays a very interesting role. Because Chinese education is not as good as American education. And also it's very difficult to change the system completely. However, the Chinese parents generally have only one child, and they're willing to spend whatever amount of money to help their children have a better future. So a lot of education startups are able to do non-classroom for fee types of AI-based systems. So we have a number of investments that have, you know, AI English pronunciation aid, helping teachers grade exams, give homeworks by AI, drills that help find your weakness and improve, automatically taking attendance in class, taking a great teacher and broadcast the teacher with a pseudo interactive interface in after school coaching for fee. So the parents' willingness to pay is kind of in parallel to the public school system, creating a whole new set of entrepreneurial AI plus education companies. And whatever they end up producing, if they look good, they might become a reference point for Chinese system or even American system.
That's very interesting. I like that. That's very interesting. That's another really huge business. Like we were talking about healthcare. I mean, the education system, if you look at all the different levels of education, it's from pre-kindergarten to all the way up through it. I mean, there's so many different ways to educate yourself, and obviously people making money doing it.
Yes.
Amazing.
Actually, one of the companies we fund is called VIP Kid. It's not a fully AI company. It's asking American teachers to join an Uber-like platform, except they're not driving cars. They're teaching English to the Chinese kids.
Oh, wow.
So in just 4.5 years of development, they currently are paying about 60,000 English teachers in US, Canada, and UK.
Wow.
And 60,000 teachers last year were paid this year were paid $750 million.
Oh my goodness.
So teachers are among the most underpaid group in the whole world. And VIP Kid has found a way to essentially increase by 50% or even double the income of many teachers.
So they got another side hustle with some time, where they got a little time off or something, and then they can enjoy it. They get a lot of time off, you know, in the American system as far as holidays and vacation, summertime. So you could be doing VIP Kid during your summer.
Oh, well, that could work, but yes, that would work. But also, if they're willing to work, you know, get up earlier or stay up later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like 8 p.m. they can teach 2 or 3 classes,
right,
or half an hour each. And then they can make about $25 an hour.
Oh, that's amazing.
And it's fun. You're just sitting in your computer and, tell stories. So it doesn't even feel like work.
That's cool. My grandfather actually later in his life, him and my grandmother went to Tokyo, and they worked at the embassy, at the U.S. Embassy. And then he did a little side hustle of teaching English because it's such a in-demand thing, you know, in general. And that's cool. VIP Kid. I'm going to put that in the show notes too to make sure people know about that. It's a really cool opportunity for anyone that is a teacher.
It's perfect for the internet, right? Because no country can have enough foreign language speakers living in the country.
Right.
China, Japan, people love to learn English, but as you know, the Asians usually have a very strong accent because the teachers were native. Right. So now they can be connected by internet to American, Canadian, UK teachers, and now actually, in 15 years, you're going to be meeting people from China who speak like they're born in America, but maybe they never left China.
Wow. Because they're going to pick up the accent and everything
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. I love it. I just am fascinated by it as someone obviously that runs a business, but just is so interested. I mean, part of me is scared because I run a social media business where we help manage content on social media. Yeah, we do create content and we do, have to do a lot of things, but I can see an AI helping us, And so that's how I'm going to probably look at it is trying to make sure that if there is a tool out there in your industry, you're taking advantage of it, not looking away from it.
That's right. For example, AI in the future, there will be AI tools to help you understand your audience, give you directions on what areas to do more content and programming, advertise your show to the right people on the right social media. Just like Netflix use the user feedback to figure out what shows to make, you could do the same. But the content itself still requires, your personal communication, storytelling, and charisma, and that cannot be replaced by AI.
Right. So those that want to embrace a podcast, for instance, now's the time. My man Kai Fu is bringing it to you. Now is the time. And I'm going to get curious into your startups because I am personally loving the fact I'm a non-accredited investor. And I've been slowly kind of building out a few startups through crowdfunding. So I'm curious into your insight on this equity crowdfunding. What are your thoughts around it?
I think crowdfunding needs some structure to work well.
Structure.
Yeah, because the reason it needs structure is a lot of people, when they're investing $100, $1,000, are basing it on some internet content that describes here is a business that needs funding. And the ones that get the most funding end up being the most persuasive communicators, not necessarily the best entrepreneurs and the best ideas. Add on top of that, the people paying the $100 or $1,000, they're not trained as investors. So their emotion, their preferences, their passion might guide them to invest in things that may not give a great return. Right. An example of a structure that's built is something called in the Silicon Valley called the angel lists. There you've got accredited investors who make the first investment. So, and then the others would follow. So let's say you've got 1,000 ideas being pitched and 100 accredited investors who pick 100 of the 1,000, then there might be another 1,000 crowdfunding funders, but the guidance should be you shouldn't go in alone. You should read an accredited investor who is trained in making investments and who gives the reasons for making the investment and who puts the money, creating an alignment of interests, and then you could follow them. Maybe at a slightly higher price, maybe you've paid them what's called a carry. Right. Then all of a sudden, you've got leaders who are experienced. Then the money won't be from the average investor would not be making a choice purely on their own inexperience.
Right. Yeah, because we don't have we don't know what really it takes, obviously, because unless you have a company that does become a unicorn and you were lucky enough to be on that ride, I mean, someone says, look at Theranos or whatever that company was. Probably people thought that was going to work, right?
Yeah. Very few crowdfunded companies that didn't have an accredited investor or VC or angel ended up doing extremely well.
Do well.
And even if we read a few cases that do well, there are many, many others who don't. So, right. If you or the listeners want to make small angel investments, my advice is take a look at angel lists and follow someone who is an experienced leader. And then when you invest alongside them, that you're basically aligning your interests with an expert. They might charge you 20% or 10%, but that's worth it.
Right. Yeah, because this money you're not going to get back. I mean, this is money you're literally just locking up unless the company IPOs or gets bought out, right? I mean, it's locked in.
Yeah, that's the other thing to realize. If you've got a spare $100,000, you think you can make 20 investments a year and do 5 years. At the end of 5 years, it's possible none of your investments will have exited.
Right.
Even if 20% are doing well or doing okay, the path towards IPO could be 7 to 10 years. So this is your money locked up for a long time. So be cautious.
Right. Great point. I really appreciate that. So also along with that, your venture fund, Sinovation Ventures, you are establishing a presence in the Silicon Valley area. Unlike, are you the only Chinese company or one of the only Chinese companies that has actually, made your grounds here in actually Silicon Valley?
No, there are probably 5 or 6 good VCs and maybe another 100 private investors. But honestly speaking, our expertise is in China.
Right.
Whereas in Silicon Valley, more to learn than to make a lot of money. Because we are a big brand in China.
Right.
In Silicon Valley, we're just a newcomer. So we're very humbled by the other great VCs who know this environment better, and we're trying to learn from them and not investing a lot.
Yeah, learning. And also, hey, you're making a huge footprint with your book too. And giving back, because I know that's part of your kind of mission as well, is giving back to the world.
Yes. I think the reason I wrote this book, AI Superpowers, is twofold. I think first is there are too many AI books written by unqualified people, and that's what's generating the paranoia and the hype. And as an AI researcher, and with the endorsement of my AI colleagues, what this book is based on is what AI really is and isn't. It is not a robot overlord. It's not dystopia. It's also not utopia. AI is a tool, but it can create a lot of value. Let's use it. The second reason is pointing out that AI will raise a lot of issues, including job displacement. So those are problems that are solvable, but we need to get ahead of a problem and start thinking about jobs of compassion, improving education, and things like that.
Absolutely. Well, we really appreciate you having on the show. We have a few more final questions for you, my man Kai-Fu.
Okay.
Why do you love being you? When you wake up in the morning, you look at yourself in the mirror, you brush your teeth. Why do you love being you?
I think the most important thing is the friends and family that I have around me. That I seeing them and seeing the relationship that we have, and knowing the love that we have, the unconditional love we have for each other. I think that is by far the most important. I think work and other things, writing a book, these are interesting, nice things to do. But ultimately, I think it is really the fact that I know that I have lived because of the people who love me, and the other way around.
Yeah, that's what they say too. They say like at the final stages of your life, your soul lives longer by how many people you love and love you.
Yes. And I didn't always know this. I used to always be an workaholic until I had lymphoma and was faced with the possibility that I might not live that long. Wow. And then I realized that working hard and working really didn't mean anything to me. All I wanted to do was spend all the time with the people I love. And it was really dumb of me to not realize that until I had lymphoma. Fortunately, I'm now in remission, so I can correct my work-life balance and live my life more fully.
Right. So after a long day, hard work or with family, what is one of your favorite meals to enjoy with your family?
Favorite meals? I love Chinese, French, Italian, Japanese, Korean. These are all my favorite meals. And
so you like it all. Do you like to mix it up based on what you're feeling like, and you just like, hey, get some Japanese?
Only if there's good Japanese locally.
Got you. Yeah. In San Francisco, they have a pretty good food scene. I mean, they got some of the best.
I think French, Italian is very good. Chinese, very mediocre. Japanese is not bad, but not great.
Yeah. You have to probably be in Tokyo.
travel. So exactly. Yeah.
So do you make a home base, and where are you at specifically most of your time? Are you in Silicon Valley? Or are you going back and forth to China?
I'm mostly in China, in Beijing,
Gotcha.
and other locations where we have investments.
Yeah.
But I come to Silicon Valley a lot. I go to New York. I go to Europe from time to time.
Absolutely.
And also Taiwan, Hong Kong. So lots of travel.
Lots of travel. So this next year, we're coming up on 2019. Is there a skill you want to master? Is there something you're working at each day?
Skills. Probably not. I'm too old to learn new skills.
Too old to you wrote a book. That's a new skill to conquer, right?
Okay, yeah, that was one. But this was exhausting. I'm taking a break. 2019, I'm looking to conquer the skill of resting.
Ooh, nice.
Making my family enjoy my presence and not complain about me being on the book tour all the time.
Right. Yeah, because I'm sure it's exhausting to be on the actual, pushing. Once you have a piece of art or a piece of, wisdom at the end of the day, something that's going to last beyond your years here.
Yes.
That it's something really cool about it when you really think about it that way, as well as, it's as an artist myself, or, we're doing this podcast, it's going to live forever. As long as we keep paying the fees, it's going to live out there and hopefully help someone in 20 years from now. They're like, oh, wow, I need to get my ball rolling because sometimes people act late, So yeah. 2019 is rest.
Yes. 2019 is rest and just continuing all the things that I do. I do like trying new things. So writing a book, and we started an AI Institute 3 years ago. But 2019 is rest. 2020, I'll figure something interesting and new to do. That's fun.
That's cool. Man. Do you have a favorite app or a tool that you like using on a daily basis that helps you?
My apps are mostly Chinese apps. So.
Okay. Yeah, give them a shout out. Why not? I love investing in China, and I believe in all the China companies. Tencent, amazing.
Yeah. I think WeChat.
Yes.
It's a cool tool for the listeners to use, but it's only good if you can get some friends on it.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of a better app than WhatsApp.
Gotcha.
So it does all the things, we pretty much live in WeChat. I checked my hours per week. I'm about 55% of all my time on my mobile phone is in WeChat.
Got you. And friends, family, team, everything through there.
Yes. We read business plans there. We talk to entrepreneurs there. We have groups that have common interests. And my family, my immediate family, there's a group we share our fun moments and pictures. And then our extended family, there's another group.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a very, very good UI that's done. So of course, when you go in, it's like WhatsApp. If you happen to have people on your contacts who have WeChat, I think you'll love it. But if you're alone there, then it's kind of a useless app.
Right, you're like kind of talking to yourself. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
But that's one of Tencent's big wins, right?
It's a huge win. I think, if people are into investing, Tencent and Alibaba are the two giant.
Yes.
And these would be good stocks to have in your portfolio, although they're very volatile lately.
Right. Yeah, I've been investing in them many years ago, and I mean, obviously they've been up. Some of them, if you look at it, sometimes when you buy something and it's up, and then it comes back down when it has a little downside. This last year has been down for a lot of companies, not just. I mean, go look at Facebook stock. I believe in. The only one that's been kind of resilient lately is good old Elon at Tesla. Man, that thing's been resilient after it went.
Tesla just had a big reversal in profitability.
Right.
That's, I think, just amazing operational excellence. And we don't know as stock pickers, but there are some perennial companies. I think I would think of Amazon and Google as companies that will just be here, still powerful 10 years from now.
Right.
The thing to do when you invest in a powerful, great company is just to close your eyes to the daily volatility. Just leave it there, and in 10 years, it'll be worth more.
Yes. What do you think about NIO?
NIO is an interesting company. It's probably one of the higher risk, higher return kind of things.
Right.
Not for everybody.
Not for everybody. But if you are a young investor, say you're 25 to 35, you got nothing to lose. Put $1,000, buy some NIO stock. It could be the Tesla of China and be huge. right?
You could do that, but I don't advise that style of investing.
Okay.
I think if you're 25 and you make really smart investments that give you 10% a year, it's going to turn into a lot of money by the time you're 65.
True.
So it might be better off diversifying.
Right.
If you have enough money to diversify into NEO and Tesla and Google and Amazon and Tencent and Alibaba, that's great. If you don't have enough to make like 20 stocks, then buying a fund might be a better approach.
Yeah, buy VT, or I think I also one of the other the Vanguard China one. And they have also VUG, which is a dividend, really a high dividend. Those things that run well.
Yeah, because in the long run, you as a stock picker probably isn't going to outdo a good fund,
right? And
may not even outdo an index. If you look at the performance of S&P, most of us have in my lifetime, I have a lower return than S&P.
Oh yeah.
The other thing too is if you're in an industry and you really understand your industry. Let's say you're in the EV electrical vehicle business, and you can judge Tesla and something that others don't. Right. You are better than a research analyst. Then I think you can bet more money on each stock in which you have kind of a leg up and an asymmetrical advantage.
Right. My always simple one that I've always used too is like, who is charging me money? If it's like, am I buying Spotify every month? Am I buying, all the companies that charge money on your credit card or on your bank account? Who are you paying? What companies do you believe in? That's kind of if you wanted to take the chance at going after a company on its own, that would be the only way I would think. If that's like kind of the Warren Buffett model, right? Just like go after stuff you like or stuff you know.
Yeah, and if you and your friends are all saying a company has better service, and you being a podcast person probably knows a lot about selecting music, and do you like Apple or Spotify or whichever one that you really like, and you're paying money, and you know more than most customers, and you think they're gaining share, then that's also extra knowledge that a research analyst may not have.
Yeah. I always, honestly, as an investor too, I always just kind of like to buy on the IPO day. Like when Alibaba IPO'd, or Spotify or even Facebook stock, I overpaid for the IPO. But when you look at the broader scheme, like you said, in 5 or 10 years, you didn't overpay.
Yeah, that's right. Although I'd be a little cautious with that approach now. It was
I know, it's a little scary now.
Because now when Uber goes public at 100 billion, really a good price or not?
Yeah, is it going to be 50 billion before you know it?
It's maybe, or it could be 200. So it's really a little hard to judge because Uber doesn't have a benchmark.
Oh, I know. It's very scary. You're absolutely right. The IPOs going forward have not done very well. They really haven't.
Yeah.
But it's as an investor, you have to just be diligent about being passionate for one. At least if you pick the company and you lose, you picked it. You didn't take it from friend or someone else. It's like, it's your company. Cause it's bound to happen, but
make it based on your conviction and your knowledge, not on some rumor or someone else who thinks it's a good call. Make your own conviction and do your own homework.
Right. Cause we'll probably have an AI to help us in the future, make us smarter decisions. I'm sure a lot of those guys might be out of business with the smarter AI.
Yeah, there already are all kinds of smart AI. There are, simple things like Wealthfront.
Oh, yes.
They do a decent job, although they just do ETFs.
Right.
All the way up, you've got, AI trading in huge companies like, huge funds like Renaissance and Citadel and Two Sigma. These are all AI companies.
Yeah.
Although the problem is these funds are kind of only accepting very big checks. So not that everyone who can invest in them.
The one that figures out the AI to help you, invest better on E-Trade, or E-Trade itself better have the AI, right?
Yeah, the robo trading, the advice. Although I think if they're made available on a very broad basis, everybody has access to it, then you have the issue that the whole market cannot go up 30% every year.
Right.
And if it's accessible to everyone, it'll normalize back down to the normal market growth rate. So it's better if you have some, either you have some advantage that someone else doesn't. you've got a little AI thing that someone that really works, but only a small number of people have it. Once everybody has it, it won't work.
Then the game's over.
Yeah, or something about an industry that analysts don't.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have either of that, just put it in a mutual fund. That's probably the safest, most diversified.
Yep. The key is actually just to invest.
Yes.
So many people are just spending all their money and then they don't have anything they have nothing.
Yeah, spending is bad. Putting in certificate deposit is not a good idea either.
Right. Yeah. Having it work for you, even though some days are tougher than others. On those pain days when the account's down 3%, but then there's another day the account's up 3%. You just have to be diligent. Couple more last questions here, sir. Tonight for dinner, be real. If you could sit down with anyone in the world for dinner, who would it be?
Anyone who's alive.
Alive or dead. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We've had people say Jesus and all sorts of interesting.
I think Jesus or Confucius. That would be.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Or together. How's that? Together.
Why not? Why not? Confucius.
Yeah.
I'm always blown away, and my wife is too because she's a psychologist, but it's just about how people that lived so long ago and their words, how they are so real still today.
Right.
It's wow. All these people happen to come by, but you were the one that everyone remembers. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
And also, can you share with us, do you have a favorite thing to do at night? Do you enjoy a show? Do you enjoy just relaxing? What's your kind of unwind zone?
So I love movies. So
nice.
I have humble homes, but I always have a very lavish home theater.
Ooh, I like that.
Fanciest equipment give me experience better than the theater. That's my favorite.
That's your goal?
No, I have it. I've had it ever since in my very first house. All the money went into the home theater.
Oh, nice.
That continues to be the case.
I like your style, sir. I like your style. Something great about a movie too, it just takes your mind away from reality.
And they're getting so much better with the special effects.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just so much more enjoyable.
Yeah,
I don't watch much artsy, movies. I actually just watch what people enjoy. Things that have a high rating on IMDb.
Yes. Yeah, skip the rest. Let's just go right to the good stuff.
Yeah, I watch I think every single movie on IMDb over 6.5.
Got you.
Yeah. So that's
that's the criteria to go. Anything better than that?
Yes. It's pretty reliable. It represents the general public, and I'm not a movie critic, so if most people like it, I will like it.
Right. Yeah, I find the same thing too as well. Sometimes even the highest rated ones are not the greatest, but then sometimes the ones just right there in the perfect, a C average, are the best.
Well, I don't know. Anything. I've never liked anything under 5.
Got you.
For me, that's a good filter.
Got
Over
you.
6.5, it's a high, 95% of
95. That's cool, man.
And also, I watch some shows. I love Silicon Valley.
Ooh, nice.
The typical nerdy shows. Big Bang Theory. And then my favorite is Black Mirror.
Oh, and what channel is that on?
Well, Black Mirror is a Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Okay.
They only do 6 episodes or so per year. So unfortunately, that means I only get to binge watch once per year.
Got you. Black Mirror. I'll have to check that one out on Netflix.
Wonderful science fiction. It's very real, a little bit dark, somewhat scary science fiction. These I would say 70% of Black Mirror could happen in the next 10 years. And of course, they take a very dark road, so don't be so pessimistic. But they also warn us about the issues that may arise.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out. Netflix is truly, every time you watch a show on there, it's it feels like you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
So unbelievable. Fantastic. Can you give our listeners, Kai-Fu, one last real talk thought, my man?
Okay, sure. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, can you give our listeners just one last real talk thought about life, about AI, about your book?
Yeah, sure. I love America and I love China, and I'm very concerned about the current tension building between the two great countries. Right. When I wrote my book, even though it's called AI Superpowers and many people buy it thinking it's a competition of the two countries, I think these are the two greatest countries, greatest cultures, and I hope more of your readers will not just be persuaded by some negative stuff on the internet. China and US have had a great relationship for the last 40 years, and I really hope that can continue despite some of the current noise between the countries and in the media.
Right. Well, sir, I just want to thank you so much for your presence and for bringing us the reality that we are in an AI world. Everything you do and touch is AI. So now's the time to start pursuing your dreams. Kai-Fu, I hope you have a wonderful evening, my man. Folks, you've been hanging out with the man, Kai-Fu Lee and Travis, Too Tall and Huff. I want to thank you again for your time today, and let's keep being real. What another epic episode. And if you enjoyed the episode today, can you please do me a favor and subscribe to our podcast, The Be Real Show, on iTunes or your favorite podcast platform, and also take a little time today, if you don't mind, and give your boy T Huff a review. I would really super appreciate it, and thank you so much for listening today.